Department of Pharmaceutical Technology at LG Institute of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. In this video, we will see about the regulatory requirements and approval procedure for new drugs in India. So, why regulation on drugs is required? So, that is obvious. For the drug that is to be used in human must be safe and effective, and that's why demonstration on safety and efficacy is essential before the drug can be approved to import or manufacture and market in the country. How the regulation of drugs that is being done in India? So for that, various acts are established in India, and one of the important acts, that is Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, and rule thereunder, that is Drugs and Cosmetics Rules 1945. And State Drug Regulatory Authority, National Drug Regulatory Authority ensure the enforcement of this act throughout India. So, applicant who seek for the license to import, manufacture, distribute for the distribution and sale of the drugs and cosmetics, first of all, they need to acquire the license from the regulatory authority by submitting the required data, and only when they prove the safety and efficacy of the drugs, only then they get the license from the regulatory authority. So, to understand the regulatory requirement of new drug, first of all, we need to understand what is new drug. So, it is defined in Rule 122E of the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules 1945, and according to this, the new drug includes the bulk drug substance and phytopharmaceutical drug which has not been used in the country to any significant extent under the conditions prescribed, recommended or suggested in their label, and which has not been recognized as safe and effective by the licensing authority for the proposed claim. New drug also includes a drug is already approved by the licensing authority, but now it is proposed for the marketing with the modified or a new claim regarding the change in dose of the drug, change in dosage form, change in use of the drug, or change in the route of administration. New drug also includes the fixed dose combination of two or more drugs individually which are approved earlier, but now for the first time these are proposed in combination in the fixed ratio, or if the ratio of the ingredients already there in marketed formulation, and now it is proposed to be changed regarding the change in use, dose, dosage form or route of administration. All the vaccines and recombinant DNA derived products shall consider as new drug unless otherwise certified by the licensing authority. New drug shall be continued as a new drug for a period of 4 years after the approval of its first approval, after the date of its first approval. So this is regarding the definition of new drug. So apart from this term, we also need to know about two other terms, which is NCE, that is new chemical entity, that is the active substance under the developmental stage which may be specified as drug as per the act after undergoing the clinical trial. And one more term, that is IND, investigational new drug, which is the NCE, new chemical entity, which is having therapeutic indication but which has not tested earlier on the human being. So let's see about the rules that govern the import or manufacture of new drugs and clinical trials. So these rules are given in Drugs and Cosmetics Rules 1945, and this is 122. So rule number 122A that gives information regarding the application or permission to import new drug. Application 122B, that is regarding the application for the approval to manufacture new drug. Application 122D, that is regarding the application for permission to import or manufacture fixed dose combination. Application 122DA, that is for the application for permission to conduct the clinical trials of new drugs and investigational new drug. application 122 DAB, that is regarding the clinical trials, and this includes the provision for examination of any serious adverse events of injury and death and payment of compensation in clinical trial cases, and it also includes the provision for the debarment of the applicant in case of failure to pay the compensation. Rule 122 DSC, that indicates the conditions that is to be followed by the applicant to conduct the clinical trial, and it indicates that applicant must follow the requirement and guideline given in Schedule Y and the good clinical practice guideline issued by the CDSO and the other related provision. It also includes the provision for the debarment of applicant and investigator in case of non-compliance. 122E, that is regarding the definition of new drug. So this Schedule Y and good clinical practice guideline, these are the important guideline in terms of the information that is required by the applicant to apply for the permission to import or manufacture the new drug. So to import or manufacture and market the new drug in country, the approving authority is the National Drug Regulatory Authority, that is CDSO, and the Office of DCGI, that is the Drugs Controller General of India, grants the approval of manufacturing or to import the new drug to market in the country, and this office is also responsible to grant the approval for clinical trials of new drugs and investigational new drugs. So how applicant can apply? So those who want to apply for manufacturing new drug or to import new drug or to import or manufacture fixed dose combination, or those who want to conduct the clinical trial, they can apply in Form 44, that is as per the Schedule A of DNC Act, along with the required documents and the prescribed fees, and the data that can be submitted as per the Appendix 1 for the unapproved drug and as per the Appendix 1A, that is for the already approved drug. So applicant can refer the fees that is to be submitted along with the application related to new drug. In case of clinical trial, phase 1 50,000 rupees, phase 2 and phase 3 rupees 25,000, for approval of new drug, that is 50,000 rupees, for drugs which are already approved, and for those kind of drug, if the application is within 1 year of the earlier approval, then rupees 50,000, and in case of the application regarding the approval of new claim or new business form, then fee that is related is 15,000 rupees. Let's see about the approval procedure for a new drug substance, that is raw material or API, and the drug product, that is finished formulation. So for this, the applicant has to apply to the DCGI office. So applicant has to submit the application in form number 44 along with the required data and requisite fees, and then the preliminary evaluation of the application is done at the office of DCGI, whether it is complete or not. If there is any deficiency, then written deficiency is forwarded to the applicant for its completion, and if the application passes the preliminary evaluation, that it undergoes the regulatory evaluation, and if the application includes clinical trial or bioequivalence study, then subject expert committee review this data and issue the no objection certificate and prepare the review report, and in case simultaneously the chemical and manufacturing control data is also reviewed, and if it is found satisfactory, then Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission issue the no objection certificate to applicant, and based on and then generate the report with compliance to specification. So based on the IPC report and subject expert committee report, If on-site facility inspection, if required, then it is done. Otherwise, the approval is given. That is in different form. That depends on the type of new drug, whether it is in raw material or finished formulation. So, form number 45, that is regarding the permission that is to be given to import finished formulation of new drug. The permission for manufacture of new drug formulation is given in form 46. Permission to import raw material or new bulk drug substance is given in form 45A, and the permission for manufacture of raw material, that is new bulk drug substance, is given in form number 46A. So the data that is required to be submitted along with the application for the new drug include the chemical and pharmaceutical information of drug that is related to this application, preclinical study data, that is the animal pharmacology and toxicology data, clinical trial data, that is phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 clinical data, regulatory status in other country, labeling and prescribing information, and if the drug that is to be imported, then the applicant has to produce COPP and FSC to the regulatory authority. This is the certificate of pharmaceutical product and pre-sale certificate, and this can be acquired from the exporting country. The various committees which are involved in the evaluation of the applications are like IND committee, that is regarding the evaluation of the investigational new drug application, that is the drug discovered in India, that is chaired by the Director General ICMR. The subject expert committee, that includes the medical experts, and that is related to the evaluation of the clinical trials, technical committees and apex committees. Let's see some of the information regarding the clinical trial. So there are two terms, local clinical trial and global clinical trial. Local clinical trial, that is the clinical trial within country, and global clinical trial, that means the multinational clinical development of drug, that includes the clinical trial on population of the different country. So if the drug is discovered, if new drug substance is discovered in India, then clinical trial are to be required from the phase 1, and if the new drug is already approved in other country, then phase 3 clinical trial is required to be conducted in Indian population to generate the evidence that the drug is safe and effective for the human use or use in Indian population. For the new drugs which are already approved in the other countries, and that involves the global clinical trial, and that includes the clinical trial on Indian population, then for the approval of this kind of new drug in India, regulatory authority demands that the number of Indian patients involved in this global clinical trial must be adequate enough to indicate the safety and efficacy in Indian patients, and only then the approval can be given to the applicant based on this global clinical trial data. Waiver of clinical trial, that is local clinical trial, is also possible. That is under certain condition there is no need of the local clinical trial. So the conditions are specified in Rule 122A and 122B, that indicates that local clinical trial may not be necessary if the drug is of such a nature that in public interest licensing authority may decide to permit the approval to import or manufacture of new drugs based on the data available in the other countries. The another condition that is specified in clause 1 of Schedule Y, that indicates that for the drug that is to be used for the serious disease or life-threatening disease, or the disease that is having special relevance to the Indian health scenario, then the requirement of clinical trial can be abbreviated, deferred or omitted as deemed appropriate by the licensing authority. Waiver of clinical trial can be consider only in cases of national emergency, extreme emergency, epidemics, or the use of orphan drug for the rare disease, or the use of the drug in disease or conditions for which there is no current therapy available. Let's see about the recent initiatives that is taken up by the National Regulatory Authority CDSCO, and to simplify the interaction between the applicant and the regulatory authority. Now there is the provision for the online submission and processing of the clinical trial application and new drug application through the online CDSCO web portal. The regulatory authority also has initiated the interactive workshop for the subject expert committee and the reviewers of the CDSCO for streamlining the regulatory evaluation process in collaboration with the US FDA and ICMR. The guideline for the subject expert committee is also there for reviewing of clinical trial and new drug application. Comprehensive review of existing regulatory provisions and the preparation of the new rules that is under the process, and the new rules may include the new features like post-trial access, pre-submission meeting, waiver of the local clinical trial for the drugs already approved in the other countries, or accelerated approval under the certain conditions. For example, right now India, along with the many countries in the world, suffering from the pandemic situation of COVID-19 infection, and there is no vaccine right now available. So in this case, the accelerated approval procedure for vaccine, that is a new drug, is essential in this kind of scenario. For the students, the questions can be asked like right or not on regulatory requirement and approval procedure to import or manufacture and market the new drugs in India, or describe the requirement and guideline to conduct the clinical trial as per the Schedule Y. The content of this presentation is referred from the official website of the CDSCO and the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and Rules 1945 that is also available through this website. I hope you find this video useful regarding the information provided, and you can watch this video and other videos related to pharma topic on our official YouTube channel, that is Pharma Ignite. So do visit and subscribe it if you have not subscribed it. Thank you very much for your attention.